Welcome to the Break Motor Cloud podcast, where we share scaling stories in F&B and retail. This podcast is brought to you by StaffAny and produced by Nila Studios. Today, I'm super excited to have me, Trixie, from By Invite Only, to share with me her story in scaling the business. Welcome, Trixie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Trixie, could you give a quick introduction of yourself and how did you get into this business?
So I'm Trixie. I'm the founder of By Invite Only Jewelry. I started when I was about 19 or 20. So that was maybe about 16, 17 years ago. I started as a hobby crafting jewelry in my bedroom, in my mom's place. And it became something that gave me a lot of pride and joy, something that I can do with my bare hands. So when I graduated, I just thought, heck it, like I just try it for a year. And then that's how it's kind of started. I just never stopped doing it. So until now, I'm still working at By Invite Only. So I never had a full-time job per se, which I regret. I feel that I should have done 1 or 2 years experience in a corporate world, but I'm very glad where the journey has led me to today. Yeah.
Super. I also didn't find a full-time job. I started StaffAny final year of university, but yours is even more intense. You said you were actually building a business while in school.
Yes.
And then only when you graduated, then did you open a first shop? How did that journey turn out?
Because in the 16-year journey, I would say the first 5 to 8 years was a lot of exploring, learning, product development. I think many people fail and then they start another business. I just continue to fail and then restart again. Like I just kept chugging on.
Right.
So I would say our first store was maybe in 2018. That's our first permanent lease that we took up, which was at Wisma Atria. So I think a lot of our customers will remember us being at the atrium space, like a small kiosk space in Wisma. So that was kind of our first foray into retail. And I would say it's a very humbling lesson. But I think first retail shop is always like teaching, is like a retail school.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how we started.
Right, and now you have, I think, how many outlets? 4 outlets?
I would say at the start of the year, we have about 8.
Okay.
Yeah, so in fact, actually, we are closing 3 of our stores.
Right.
So far, we have closed Gem and Bugis, and then in November, we'll close Vivo City.
I see. And then there's a lot of expansion. The one I recall is like Somerset 313. You have one there in the middle, right?
Yes,
And then
so we have Somerset, next.
Joel.
We are in Changi Airport. So we opened a new Changi Airport space in Terminal 3 airside.
Congratulations.
So that was something new for us. There's a new kind of environment, a new type of customers that we are serving. So we were very excited about that. But also then this year we are closing 3 stores as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to ask about why you open and why you close and some of the strategies behind later. But the name, By Invite Only, how do you come up with the name?
When I started, there's a very boring story. So I had a list of 100 names. So it was not just then Epiphany, and then it's like I had a list of 100 names, and I knew that I wanted the name to be like a common phrase that people would always use, so that it's very top of mind. When we first started, I was crafting, so there was a little bit of exclusivity there, right. And there was a lot of that time Yoji. I can't remember who now. Yoji Yamamoto, I think. I need to
recall. No worries.
Yeah, but there was this brand that had a sub brand called Coming Soon, but that was the brand name. So I thought that was so cool just to have a phrase
right.
as the brand name. So then we decided, I brainstormed over 100. So that's the boring story. But of course, as we progress, as we scale, that name kind of creates a dissonance with our customers, I feel. Because they feel it's something to feel very exclusive about. We still to date have customers asking, hey, if I don't have an invite, can I come into your store?
People still ask that question. That's
Yes.
so cool, man.
In a way, it has become if you know,
right.
kind of like a name.
Right.
So we don't have a lot of issues getting sales because of the name that's caused a lot of disruption. So it's more like a nuance now, but thinking back, I would have maybe chose a different name so that it doesn't create so much problems in our customers. But also at the same time, it's become a joke
right.
internally. Yeah. And it's also quite funny when we hear sometimes when customers are afraid to step into our stores.
Because they wait for the invitation only.
Yes.
So it's hilarious. A more boring one is StaffAny. We started listing names that has HR related features in the name, and we chose StaffAny because it was the .com domain that we can find. So I think ours is more boring than yours, right? It's so
Yes.
practical
Sometimes like everyone have like this amazing story about how they come up with their name
Right.
and everything, but actually sometimes it's just logistics.
ours is
like,
damn boring.
yeah, it's like we pick the best one from a list or something like that.
Right. Super. Then what does the brand actually stands for? Because now I see it being, in front of empowering ladies and people using your amazing jewelries, all the way from necklace to bands to rings to everything, right? Like so how does the brand evolve and what do you guys stand for right now?
To be very honest, when I first started, I was really a young kid lah. So I didn't have any direction. There's no vision, no mission. But along the years, as I get to know my team and I get to know my customers, I really wanted to solidify that. So throughout maybe around our 8th year, we decided to sit down and say, hey, we need to have core values, we need to have mission and a vision so that our team have a direction. So now we truly want to be the leading jewelry brand, firstly in Singapore, and then slowly growing regionally, and then of course globally as the wider mission that we have. And it has kind of gave us a very good direction. So even things to like how we talk to vendors, how we talk to people like you, if we work with you, like will a leading brand be rude? No, will a leading brand say this to the customers? Will a leading brand have typo errors in their Instagram captions and things like that? So it kind of puts us to a standard.
Right.
With our quality, our products, our design. We are not perfect, but it's kind of like a mark for us to reach to, and I feel it makes us less like headless chickens. So that is kind of where we are going towards. And I think for the customer side, we really want to be, whenever you think of jewelry, you think of us. So we want to try to expand into other segments like men's jewelry, unisex jewelry, maybe even next time like children's, kids, tweens, or piercing jewelry and stuff like that. So that's kind of like what we are seeing whether we can achieve that in the next few years. Yeah.
Super. Hopefully one day there's like men's jewelries that the rest of us can also use. So your outlets now you mentioned 8 and some are opening, some are closing, and some great expansion in Changi Airport and all. What's the direction for the brand in terms of the outlet perspective? Are you guys going to open like 10 more in Singapore, or like how are you thinking about the expansion plans?
Yeah. So I feel that you can't look at it in 10 years I want to achieve 50 stores or things like that, because our model is very different from per se like bread talk.
Right.
So for the first few years when we opened the store, we were not really known in the market. So I think the key objective is really awareness. You would see a lot of our stores are prime locations, and because we want prime locations, we want the footfall, our spaces are also very small. So now when the lease renewals come up, we then need to think about what the next phase of our expansion needs to be. So I think now very gladly, like whenever you talk about buy and buy only, if you are within our target audience or like the boyfriend or the husband of our target audience, you kind of know about us. So we feel that we don't really need to have the prime spots anymore. We don't really need to always be paying the top brand to be top of mind. We want a space that can give back to our community, our customers, and that is kind of like the next phase of our expansion. But in order for us to do so, we also have all these leases that are up for renewal. We cannot neglect the fact that, hey, if we have to wait until we open and then we close to top up the revenue, because I think that was one concern that we have. If we close down sales channels, where are we going to get the revenue back?
Right.
You know, like if every unit you earn 10K, for example, if you close 30,000 is missing from your wallet. I think that is like quite a basic concept, but I choose to believe that sometimes you have to move back 2 steps in order to go ahead 10 steps. So this is kind of like the gamble that we are doing now. Yeah.
Right. So when you mentioned about retail footprint, I also understand that your business has a very strong online presence and online channels, whether it's TikTok or direct to your website and order, right? If it's not too sensitive, maybe can you share a little bit more about how has that split been evolving over time? Do you see more transactions coming in retail, or do you see like, hey, actually the online is still a bigger presence, and how has it been shifting?
So pre-COVID, I would say we are more online. So the percentage is maybe 80% online and then 20% offline.
Right.
And then as we open more stores, with the 8 stores, of course,
Swing.
70% then comes from the retail.
Wow, that's amazing.
And during COVID is actually the time that we grew a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we over like 2020 we opened our maybe second store,
Right.
and then 313 came about quite quickly as well. So I think over the last few years we went from 2 to 4, then 6 and 8.
Right.
Yeah. So now I think it's a different environment. Like post-COVID, everyone's back traveling, and I think how do I put it? A lot of people when they are travel, they are not in the malls.
Mm-hmm.
So when they are shopping on Shopee, for example, they are shopping on your .com, and they are scrolling on social media. So I think we need to be where our customers are. That should be where we are going to focus on now. So a lot of the growth and all of the revenue is coming from non-retail spots right now. So we are also seeing the need to maybe downsize a little bit and consolidate, and then the retail starts to have a different meaning.
Right.
I think the experience part is becoming more important. Our customers are telling us, like, hey, I need a bigger space. I want to be able to sit down and like solely think about the jewelry. I want to have a space that I can just stand there and not be disturbed by the crowd. So we are hearing all this feedback and looking for a bigger flagship space.
Awesome.
For next year. Yeah.
Super looking forward. That's also what good entrepreneurs do, right? We listen to the feedback of our customers and we iterate along the way. That's amazing. One quick question. I saw that there's a collaboration like Miffy, right? And
Yes.
branded stuff like that, like cool things. Like, how has that also been part of your strategy?
So we initially thought of 中秋节, so Mid-Autumn Festival. So we actually launched Miffy because it's inspired by the Chang'e Dengyue kind of story. And we always want to use our own cultural stories and we want to tell Asian stories because that is what represents us. And we want to mold it into our modern day designs and then so it's relatable to our customers. So that is how it really came about. We thought, hey, wouldn't it be great if we don't just launch a normal like rabbit necklace with moon and stars? Can we actually work with Miffy and then mold this into the story that we want to tell? So we talked to Miffy, and then they very openly said, very quickly as well, said yes. And actually we started in March 2025. So we had to launch in 6 months, which was a very, very tight timeline. And it's our first licensing project, so we were also not knowing what to expect. We actually ordered bigger than usual inventory, but we are now almost sold out already.
Congratulations.
So I guess it's a relief because we have closed 2 stores so far, but we are not seeing the loss of the sales coming from the stores. I think because of the collections that is pulling the customers through our online, through our Shopee, through our like brick and mortar stores, we don't see like that loss of that 10K or the 20K that we talked about earlier. Yeah.
Super. So that's a great recent win that I would say that the team worked really hard. Say it's an easy win.
They are still working very hard now.
But you worked since
fulfilling
March.
orders.
Yeah, all the way to now sold out and all. Really, really a lot of hard work.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for hard work, your team. How about the toughest challenge that you recently went through that cannot talk about COVID lah? Something beyond that. Yeah. So
COVID actually was very good.
Very good for you guys. Okay, we'll talk about it later. But what was a tough challenge that you had overcome with your team in this last year of entrepreneurship?
In the last year, I think it's the changing consumer behavior, tackling also the rents and the high increase of cost that is coming. So I think not only in F&B, but like retail for jewelry, silver and gold prices are going up.
Going up, yeah, it's crazy.
So a lot of back and forth talking with our suppliers, making sure that we do not need to raise prices. The increase of the GST in the last 2 years, how we can maintain that price point for a lot of our best-selling items that our customers love over the years as well. So I think navigating these challenges has been quite difficult. I wouldn't say it's, and then also making blind, taking risk that you don't know whether it will work out. Because closing stores to a lot of people sounds very bad. So not only externally but internally, I need to make sure that my team feels secure and that they will trust in what we are, in the direction that we are going. So that was also very challenging. Yeah.
Awesome. I think you mentioned a few things that's quite interesting. So you mentioned that the gold price going up also will affect your COGS, right?
Yes.
So in the retail business, this is something that we don't imagine that much, right? Sometimes they say it's double edged, right? Like gold price go up means I want to invest more gold or something like that. How does it affect for you? Is it more of like when gold price go up, it's harder to sell, or like what's the correlation based on
the cost price will increase. So whenever they give us a quotation or like we develop the design, it's hard for the supplier to say how much this design is going to be, but we know within a range.
Right.
But if the gold prices increase by 30%,
Right.
that knocks that item up by $1 or $2, and that actually affects the margin quite a lot.
I see.
Yeah. So I guess luckily we are a high margin business. Unlike F&B, which I understand is doesn't have that luxury, but it affects things like how much discounts we can give to customers, because we have a membership program, so we have to put that into consideration as the cost. We have to make sure that the unit economics is positive, and there's so many different simulations. Shopee have their own percentages, TikTok have their own percentages. Every creator takes a cut when they sell. The girls at my store take a commission as well.
That's very good.
Packaging also, there is like a benchmark that you can't exceed. So these are all the numbers that kind of like we have to balance and make sure that we don't sell at a loss. So I guess to answer your question, every time for the same design, some suppliers, every time we place a PO, the price change. Yeah. And that means it's like every time you buy rice, right, it's a different price. It's damn stressful, if you're a housewife. But it's like it's things that is nuanced in our industry. So the better relationship we have with our suppliers, the better we can communicate this. Yeah.
Right. I understand. So in this case, do you then see using more of different materials, or is there also a trend like, hey, do we then get less reliant on gold and silver and go for other materials, or is everything also going up at the same time and actually no choice?
We are exploring stainless steel.
Okay.
But stainless is actually very cheap, and it's known as the waterproof jewelry that a lot of people do mark up a lot because of this feature. But there are certain limitations to that metal. We can't do the very delicate and dainty and fine pieces that we are known for. So we are just exploring, maybe especially the chunky pieces that is on trend now. We are using stainless steel. So we kind of have to try new materials. And to make sure that. But our customers still like silver. So silver prices has been very tricky. I hope that it would maintain, but also then US dollars going down. So everything is traded in US dollars. So all these things affect the small,
It's almost like you're in a commodity business that, right? Like, hey, I'm retail, but actually I'm trading silver and gold.
Yes, we have to track, we have to read the news, we have to read Business Times, and because we have 1,600 live SKUs, we have to make sure that every SKU's pricing is like, it's not outdated as well. So I think that's a lot of, maybe now AI can help us with that.
Right. So you have a super spreadsheet that has all the cost price of all the SKUs and stuff like that, of materials and whatnot.
Yes,
That's crazy.
We do. The super spreadsheet will change like every week.
Super, based on the latest information on the latest prices. So just nice moving on to tech, right? Because just like talk about super spreadsheet on managing it. I just want to know a little bit more about benchmark tech and metrics and stuff like that. So are you guys a metrical business? Do you guys track like sales targets, and do you maintain certain ratios on business KPIs and stuff on a weekly or monthly basis?
On the P&L, yes. So we do the P&L monthly. For example, staff, we try not to exceed 25%. If 20 is best. But sometimes when you are growing and scaling, you kind of need to invest in team. So then that's when we have to make the decision to increase the percentage for certain years. Of course, we track sales targets, your ATV, UPT, the GMVs. We use Shopify. So we have a dashboard, and we actually use ChatGPT as well. So for our Changi sales, for example, is on a separate pause. We actually use ChatGPT and Python code to kind of make it into the format that we want, and then we import into Shopify to kind of
get a holistic full picture, right? Yeah.
You can't just sit there and just allow the dashboard. You kind of have to tweak it a little bit. So we're using a lot of AI recently to help us work faster, work better, and analyze more data. Yeah.
Super. So when we talk about the metric side of things, you just now mentioned labor cost being like 20-25%. Does that also include the HQ staff, or you're talking about retail cost of labor overall, including the HQ
Yes.
side of things? Okay, because when we talk about F&B, people always talk about 20-30% of the retail front, which is on the BU, like at the outlet level, excluding back office, excluding what we call.
I think it depends because our online store is without a rent.
True.
Yeah, like your Shopee, your TikTok, there's no rent to open a Shopee mall, for example. But they take a commission.
Which is also 20-30% or whatever it might be, right? Which is
yes, it
painful,
adds up
right?
to around the same,
About
plus
the same,
all the
right?
discounts and vouchers and things like that. But we prefer the consolidated view. Of course, per outlet we can do. Some of the outlets, for example, Next, it's a very high traffic area. So I would say break even, I'm happy already.
Right, understand.
Like it's really for eyeballs awareness.
Right.
So there is a different purpose for every store. Not to say that we will not want Next sales to be increased. We will still work to kind of have sales targets for it. But we will probably be willing to sacrifice a bit of the margin for Next versus, for example, Ion, which is our best performing store. We will have very different expectations. So if we do it in that percentage, then it's not fair to compare Apple and Orange.
Right. Then the next part about the labor side, you just mentioned a point earlier in the conversation. You mentioned that your retail staff, you give them a sales commission and sales incentive. Maybe you can share with some of the business owners here. How do you design that? Like, is it based on just a top line revenue, or like based on like?
It's very complicated.
It's very complicated. It's like A plus B minus C, something like that.
Yes.
Shortcut, streamline principle that people can learn a bit more how you think about it. Yeah.
We have individual comms. We also have store targets as well. And then within the individual comms, it's not really a straight percentage. So when you hit a certain tier, you get more in the next tier as well. Because we designed it in a way that it will continue to motivate the team, and it's not there's a team element, which is a store target, and then the individual comms as well. So we also have to balance that. We don't want it to be too dog eat dog, but at the same time we also need to make sure that the individual motivation is there. So for part-timers, actually we are also offering commissions as well.
That's cool.
But we are thinking to tier it in a way that like maybe the better, like the part-timers that can give us more shifts will then have a more complex, more robust one. So we also don't want our part-timers to be standing, and we want them to fully be able to assist or even be on par with a full-timer as well. So sometimes our top sales is from a part-timer.
Super, so that's great.
We train them and we respect them the same way that we would.
That's super. Then when we talk about the COGS, we talk about like in your business there's like different materials and all, and of course the margin could range, right? It can be like a high margin product versus a low margin product. If it's comfortable, just to learn what are the ranges in terms of your COGS. Is it like for the high margin product, like is it like single digit margin kind of cost, like drinks like that, or can it be like like the low margin product, like how expensive is it actually for a flagship product that may be more expensive to produce that you guys will need to do? Is there like a range?
It's tricky because maybe food is like food.
Yeah,
food
like steak
like,
and then salad.
But for jewelry, the product has you need to have a strategy. So some products, for example, our basic and reversible hoops, our margin is terrible because I want that to be the entry for like when someone discovers our brand. That's always the first few things that they buy, the basic items, or things like that will have higher demand. So then my margin would be like, I purposely sacrifice my margin so that it's very desirable and it's easy, low-hanging fruit for customers to just like, okay, I don't know about this brand, but let me just try with a basic start or basic hook. So that strategy is one margin. And then, of course, the design stuff, there's about all development and all that. So we do have like 85%.
Right.
It
on
can
the
be
good
that
stuff,
high.
for sure.
Yeah, but then the things that are very expensive, like when it goes to the hundreds of dollars, then the margin will be lesser because the total cash amount is still significant.
Understand.
So we don't, if we apply the same 85 margin, right, that product will be
too expensive that people cannot buy.
$200, $300. Yeah, so we
out.
have to play. Yeah, so some products also are price anchors.
Right.
So I want the product to have the perceived value of 200 or 198.
Right.
Just to anchor the price point in the shop or at on the online store in that collection.
Right.
So I will just order maybe like a small quantity.
Right.
But the function of that is really to anchor the price. So it like customers have that either a higher or lower median.
Right.
And then that middle price will actually sell more.
Right.
So,
Understand.
Yeah. So different product have different strategies. So I mean, good times 85. I mean, target 85%.
Right.
Stainless steel even more.
Even more, yeah. So this one really got me reminded of our last few speakers ago, Andrew, and he talked about margins, talk about steak versus fish. You listened to the previous one on that, and how not every product needs to be managed by like, oh, F&B must be 30%, means everything must be 30%. Yes. It's about the strategy, it's about how you get your entry point, it's about the upsell, the bundle, the like what you mentioned. Yes. And I think that today you gave us a really good thought about how to think about when you think about a catalog of product, which are the more entry product, which are the anchor products, and which are the ones that are the main movers on your menu. So super amazing. For rent, when you guys choose location, I see that you all choose very premium locations, 313, Wisma and stuff like that. Is that also part of your philosophy that you guys always choose expensive premium places, or like how do you think about choosing location?
I wouldn't think Next or Tampines one is expensive premium location, but we always choose locations that we think our customers are at.
Okay.
We are not right all the time. We make mistakes and then we have to remedy and try to make up for it as well.
Right.
But as we open more stores, and now, including Wisma that we have closed the first one, we have opened 9 stores so far. I think we have gathered like some sort of a more accurate gut feel of the next space. So we used to go to the space on a weekday, morning, day, night,
see how many
weekend. Yeah, but I don't see just the traffic, which I learned my lesson. You cannot just get fooled by traffic. I always get so excited by the traffic, right? But you are paying for their traffic, but they might not be your customers. So
they might not stop.
Yes, I started looking at the people, what they wear. When they go into a store, do they buy? Do they hold a lot of shopping bags? What are the shopping bags they are holding? Are they like related brands? Is it like when they go into a Watsons, they will have the shopping bag, but what about when they go into a fashion store, then they don't buy? So things like that we observe. Over the time, of course, we go less to the mall because we already familiarized with so many malls and all the customers that we have. But we still want to go down to kind of experience the vibe, the feng shui, the
everything.
flow. We will study how the customers
Move
walk
around
in the mall. So within the mall also there are different locations that we feel are prime, not just whether the mall is prime or that locate on the map of Singapore whether it's prime, but if within the mall also, like if the customer flow is not ideal, then we would, or blocked by pillars or visibility, things like that, then we will try to avoid. Yeah.
Super, man. I think apart from footfall and all, the thing I learned is really about the lookalike audience and like, did they actually purchase? That's very, very important, because sometimes you see some of the outlets like between the MRT stop to the like bus interchange, right? The footfall is crazy, right?
Yes.
But how many people actually stop apart from buying a curry puff? So that one also die, right? So now moving on to business transformation, what's your take on it? And I saw that you guys have a lot of investment on like linking your point of sale from Changi Airport to your Shopify store and stuff. How much do you guys actually invest in tech and digitalization? Do you like have your own in-house engineer? Like how do you guys do everything?
We outsource our IT.
Okay.
We have one IT guy that helps us. I would say beyond ChatGPT, we don't really invest in a lot of tech. Of course, Shopify has its costs, and the tech stack as well, with the upsells, with the bundling, with the like even importing things into Shopify, we have to pay like a subscription for it. So I mean that's quite normal. But beyond that, we not really that. We don't have CSR kind of or CSM kind of like management. Yeah, so I think it's very basic with other D2C brands.
I see. What's one or two areas that you think that you would like to invest in the next couple of years in terms of digitalization and technology?
AI.
in
Yes.
which part of your business that you like to put AI more?
The best is customer service.
Customer service side of things.
Starting with CS would be the easiest. And then all my managers, I feel that they are using a lot of ChatGPT to even vet contracts.
Right.
Like POs coming in, and we have to match the PO and the PI to make sure it's accurate, to
Sure.
confirm the order. Like things like that, ChatGPT can do it
very
for me.
quickly, yes.
Yeah, so I'll just ask, is it the same? Is this like,
Right.
because human mistakes, right?
Right.
And then also finance side, analyzing the P&L,
Right.
making sure that the data, like building dashboards and things like that.
Super.
Sure.
With regards to the customer support side, do you use bots to help reply and filter first?
Yes.
And then in that design, were you the one leading it, or like do you have another team member that were in charge of like building
My
that whole-
CS lead
Okay,
has built a lot of the automations
and the workflows
stories.
and everything.
Yes, because they know day to day what the customers are asking. They work very closely with marketing team to fix the website. So
Super.
like all the Wismo questions, like where's my order, like can I like refund everything, it's all built in digitally.
Reply directly based on the help articles and
Yes,
everything,
yes.
SOP and templates.
I think customers also feel like I don't have to wait for someone to come online. I can resolve this myself. Yeah.
That's super. From someone who said that they were not so tech enabled, but actually everything else is already tech enabled. That's why I don't need to. Any prediction on how the landscape will evolve with more digitalization to help you scale better?
I think the narrative is always people thinking that humans will be displaced. I do not agree. I think the human element is still very important, especially in customer service, because there are so many different instances that you cannot plan for. And because customers are dynamic as well, I think the person that's leading the team has to be dynamic. So with AI, there's only so much that you can do. So I feel that the people that you have will stop doing menial tasks. They will have to be adaptable, dynamic, and problem solving, thinking out of the box. So this is also one of our core values that we built into our KPI. So we have bonus points for your KPI if you can suggest two, one or two, depending on manager. But if you can come up with one or two processes that make us more efficient or adds to business goals, you get extra KPI points.
Super.
So it's beyond the 100%. So your 100% is still your scope. But if you can create projects and you notice that when you work with someone else, the project doesn't have to be only adding value to your department. It can add value to the other people's department. But you can use it to say like, hey, I come up with this idea, then I work with this other person from this department to come up with this framework, and then we are increase our efficiency in this way, then I also deserve the points. So we make it such that a lot of our teammates will have that. Yeah.
That's super. Like, is that something also that the HR team like G need to manage? It's a lot of
Actually, I would say it's our HR manager's idea. So I would say I credit to her. Like I think she suggested that as one of the KPIs for one of the team. That I thought, hey, that is very good
for everybody also, and everybody
yes,
be like
implement it.
Innovative and help the business get better in business processes. That's amazing. I think that also shows the amazing culture you have in your team that is always looking for improvement and innovation and helping each other along the way rather than doing it alone. You can pair off with like the different departments and all. That's really, really amazing. I think I may also copy that for my own company.
Yes, please copy.
So we're going to move on to the last part of the show, which is the rapid fire question. So I ask a quick question and try to answer in one sentence.
Okay.
Most people try to drag and then become two or three, but we try our best. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, so who is someone in the industry whom you have learned a lot from?
Lee Kuan Yew.
He's your industry man. Cannot lah. He's not in your industry lah. One more time. Who's someone in your industry that you have learned a lot from?
Okay, so she's not from Singapore, but like her name is Kendra Scott. She also has a jewelry business in the US, and her path is kind of similar to ours. So I do learn a lot from her.
Super. What is one piece of advice you wish someone had given you before you started out?
That advice would be to always listen to your gut.
If you have a son or daughter that wants to join you in your business, what will you say to him or her?
then you need to start now.
Start now.
Oh, my son is 1.5, like about 1.5 now.
How is he going to start now?
He delivered socks on Sunday to our Changi store.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel that it's involving him and our day-to-day. We also talk a lot about, my husband also works with me, so we talk a lot about work. So I think from 4 years old can go and start
Infused
packing
already.
boxes, folding boxes, sorting like rubber bands, like blue and green. I think that helps, yeah.
So, well, if let's say there's one item that you want to give a shout out for, what's your latest collection that you want to name to people
Our
in the...
Miffy collection.
Sold out
We
already,
have
right?
No, there's part 2 launching on the 4th of October.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't think the podcast will be out by then, but
Yeah,
we will
but
see whether we can disturb
next
you for
year,
extra.
We
Next
might
year.
want to do more licensing projects. So, yeah.
Look forward for more collaboration.
Yes.
How should people interested following in your story follow you?
Oh, my story. I don't know. I don't really talk about my story. So this is one of the few podcasts that I actually joined.
Any like LinkedIn or like Instagram page or something that we can follow?
I'm Trixie Kong on Instagram. So yeah, you can, or just follow my brand's Instagram as well.
Awesome. Are you willing to offer one mentorship coffee session for someone looking to start up and wanted some conversation and help?
Yeah, sure. I've done it a few times before. I find it very enlightening when I have coffee with someone that is of a younger or older generation. So I do find that very helpful. Yeah.
That's amazing. So any final points you'd like to share with our listeners before we end today's show?
I guess a lot of your listeners are also entrepreneurs or doing their own business. I guess not being afraid to take risks that are scary, because I feel in Singapore we are very safe. We make very safe decisions. Sometimes also maybe afraid to fail. So I would say don't be afraid to just take the step out. And yeah, as long as you do your best, then you can make yourself proud. Yeah.
I really love today's episode because I learned so much more, and I feel that you got a lot of sharing that's based on your experience. Very, very authentic.
Thank
You know,
you.
you try to humble and downplay it. Actually, not very tech lah, but actually behind you can see all the integration, the chatbots and everything. And you tell me, oh, I'm not very technical lah, only P&L, but actually all your numbers and everything really, really good. I learned so much.
It's my hate for like administration and manual work that really
Did all this good
can
stuff.
I just automate this? Yeah.
Yeah. So the final talking point is get a good team member, a good head of
Your managers are very important.
and then you have a better
Invest
journey.
in good people. You can only grow as fast as you can find good people, actually. Yeah.
We're gonna end the podcast with that line.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.